Hello, it's Keith from Kinvert, and I'm getting ready to head out towards Duna. And so I did another one of those ferrying missions for 4 tourists to Minmus. I now have enough money to start upgrading some stuff here. I'm going to do the tracking station for one because I have low radio signal out at Duna. So that's going to be an important one. I've still got 2.8 mil. I'm going to go ahead and do... Is that what I should do? Because part of me also... I mean, right now, I don't even have enough science to do this. You know, I don't care about the Aero. And so I'm going to skip that whole branch at first. So I don't have enough science to upgrade anyway, so I think I'm going to actually upgrade this. I want to be able to accept more missions. So I'm going to do that. Alright, and then this is fully, yes. Alright, so now I can go into here, and there was a mission. It's going to be tough getting 7 Kerbals there, but I don't want to let this one go by. So I'm going to accept it. Explore Ike. Eventually this will just happen. Plant flag on Minmus. Eventually I'll be probably going back out there. But that mission already gets me $1 million. I'm starting to get more picky about what I accept. No. This is the next most. This is another Minmus one, but there's only 3 dudes. But yeah, what I want to start doing is getting more missions related to Duna and Ike. Because when, you know, back in .9, like 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know when, but I did like 3 missions at a time. I got like a station around Ike, a base on Ike, a station around Duna, and a base on Duna, all with the same single mission, you know, and I would just kind of detach parts that I didn't need and slowly get there. And I got a ton of money out of that, so that's what I'm hoping to do again here. So I've still got 2.8 million. Is that quite enough to, because that's upgraded, 2.5, I'll still have 300,000 bucks left. And my most expensive rocket so far is what? It's got to be that one where I launch... There's a couple candidates, but I think all my rockets are under 300,000 bucks. So this one's 50,000, 51, 58, 72, 85. That's probably my most expensive, right? 85,000. Where'd it go? Yeah, so this is the one that I'm sending 2 Kerbals up. But to get out to Duna, this could be 3 times as expensive, so I'm not going to upgrade the science building yet. I need to keep my money. Alright, so let's start looking at the missions that I have. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that Duna one yet, getting 7 Kerbals out there. But exploring Ike is much more doable. So gather science from Ike, return to Kerbin from Ike. And so what I want to do is go back to my current probe out on Ike. Make sure it's got a good signal. Ike probe. See how its signal strength is, and see how much delta V I have left, and then use that as a goal. So, and I'm going to need to look for another launch window, I think. Okay, I want to, let's see, this is south, and if I head to the east, I'll be facing this. So if I turn to the right, this should, did I just go opposite? Whatever. It's still pointing the solar more at the sun. Alright. Delta V of 934. And to get back to Kerbin, I kind of think I need... Let's see, I'm in orbit around Ike. It's probably 1,000 Delta V to get back whipping around Kerbin. Another 1,000 or more to kind of circularize. So I want probably 2,500 more Delta V-ish. So it seems like I'm going to need... So let's see, on top of this, I need another 1,500 delta V approximately. Let's go with another 2,000 delta V on top of this actual ship. 2,000 more delta V. And I also want to read that mission and see what I need to measure on Ike. Alright, so head back into here, and I want to make sure I've got the Ike probe loaded and start messing with that and tweak that into something that's going to accomplish the mission. Let's find my Ike probe. Dude, that's okay. Alright, is there an easy way to edit this with the thing on there? It's just always in the way. My total delta V, so I've got 3,000 on the ground, so I want 2,000 more delta V in vacuum is what I'm going to be going for. I also need, well, I mean the nuclear, Ike has like no gravity, so I can land with that. I'm going to yank this off, and then I can maybe add more fuel. What's my thrust to weight? 0.55. I don't want to go much below that. So this is my old engine. And in my engines, that's that little guy. I'll go by mass. This little guy. And ISP of 320 and a thrust of 16 kilonewtons. Nuclear, 60 kilonewtons in vacuum. So 3 times more thrust with this guy. And let's remember what my delta V was. Where'd that little engine go? Alright, 2,700. This might even go down. 300 delta V. Is this in vacuum? Vacuum. 1,296. So I would need significantly more fuel to make this one work. And I don't think Ike is a particularly flat planet. Alright, I'm gonna pop this off and then do a small tank. I do need to return. I don't really care how much science do I really want to get and recover. So I don't necessarily... Well, this is going to get me a ton of science. I can ditch these solar panels. I'm going to call this Ike Probe 2. Alright, time to start messing around with this. I need a small fuel tank. One of these guys, and then this. Alright. And now what I'm going to do is start adding more tanks around the periphery here. I'd say 4. And do the angle snap. I guess there. Alright, and we still got very little delta V. I'm going to end up... Leave that. Pop this off. This is where my heat shield will go. Pop that, and then I need a separator or decoupler. Pop. Alright, toss that on. This is what's going to attempt to land. I've got a reaction wheel, and it seems like it's aero heavy in the back. Okay, ditch this. Ditch this. Alright, this is still going to be pretty low delta V. Why is this giving me... I do not understand why that is. There it is. Alright, 1,500, and it used to be 3,700, so I need to be 5,000 some odd delta V, which means more fuel. More fuel. $28. Am I in vacuum? Yes. Okay, more fuel. 3,100. I do want to see where's the aerodynamic center. Okay, sometimes this happens. Okay, I want to take it from here and check my Aero. Does this even have an aerodynamic center? Apparently this has no aerodynamic center. Okay, so 3100 delta V for this stage. I need more. I need quite a bit more. Let's see. What's my thrust to weight? 0.3. That's not going to be fun either. This engine's just so heavy. I think I need a different way to do this. I think I need an extra interplanetary stage instead of relying on this. Because I just don't know if I can get a good thrust ratio without sitting up there in space forever. I mean, the thrust you need for Ike is probably even 0.2 is plenty. Maybe I'll just keep adding fuel tanks and see how it goes. 3200. I don't want to add a second one of these engines. What's the total mass of this stage? So 24 tons, and 3 tons of that is the engine? Is that what it was? 3 tons is engine. I mean, this is a lot of fuel. The delta V is set to vacuum. Body Kerbal, well, this shouldn't matter. Yeah, on Ike it's got a 2.23 thrust to weight ratio, but it's still got barely any delta V. I mean, if I go 3200 and I get this dinky little guy, that's 6,000. I don't understand how that's happening if the specific impulse is so different. I mean, I realize I'm adding 3 tons, but it just, my gut's telling me it's off. I mean, the vacuum specific impulse is 320 here. And the vacuum specific impulse here was like 800? 800 specific impulse. Where's the mass? Start and end. Is there just because there's no stage added, so I'll pop this on just to get a mass. Start mass of 21. I mean, the engine is making up a 1/7 of the mass. I mean, I don't know how much more fuel this is going to expect me to add. Alright, let's assume that it's the fuel is the issue. Start ditching these, and I'll go with bigger diameter tanks, and then I just won't be able to put a shroud around it. So I'll go with the larger diameter tanks. This is just stupid. There's no way that this is right. I mean, imagine something that needs to look like this to land a probe on Ike. It just seems so far off. I've got a delta V of 80 meters per second. Then I just start adding stupid big tanks. Now, how is it that it's only 19 delta V? Maybe this has to be attached to the fuel tank. Okay, 3,800 delta V. I can't do it with this engine. I think I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go back to the smaller engine. I'm kind of tempted to just go with a bigger diameter in the small engine. This might be a little too much tank. But I've got 6,000 delta V, which should be enough. And then my thrust to weight ratio is 0.97 on Ike. I will burn through some of this. And I've still got to add landing leg. Well, I don't need landing legs. I can land probably just like this. Alright, what does the mission require me to add? Plant a flag. Explore Ike. Gather science from Ike. Recover or transmit science experiments from Ike to achieve this goal. Return to Kerbal. Bring a vessel that was in the stable orbit of Ike. Recover or transmit any science experiment from Ike. So I don't even need to land, do I? To achieve this, I don't think I need to land. This is not enough thrust to weight. If I go back and get the one bigger engine, this can go away. What's my delta V? 6100, and I should have a better thrust to weight ratio. Is there a way to get these to go away once you've got them up? So let's see here. Go back to here. Thrust to weight of 2.85. That's more than enough for Ike. And this is so much delta V on the upper stage. Let's go to Kerbal. And my thrust to weight is 0.32. That'll still not... It's not terrible burn times for that. Alright. So this is basically what I can land. Since I'm bothering to go all the way out there, I might as well bring back a fair bit of science. So I'm going to go to the science area, grab this, and hopefully... This is what I did the other time. Let's see, I want to keep it up here. And then I'm going to sink them in. No. Whatever, that works. Alright. So that'll hold science. Okay, so I want temperature sensors. This one can reset itself. So I can get one on this side and then a barometer on the other to balance out that center of gravity. I've got this new seismic thing. Rerunnable, resettable, yes. Oh, that's big. Where should I even put this? I guess here. Put on 2 of those. Surface scanning module. I don't know if this gets me science. This will get me science, but I've only got a limited number of these that I can bring. Or, well, I can, yeah. It's just that these don't reset the way the others do. I'll aim for like 4 biomes. Alright, and let's find a way to reposition these. Put them under. Get 2 of them. Rotate it. Like that. Now move it. Okay. So I've got my temperature sensors, barometric, goo, science lab. Now that one I'm not going to be able to rerun, unfortunately. I don't even hardly know what that does. I don't feel like adding a ton of mass. I'm just bringing this back anyway. This one reruns, right? But I think I have to be on the ground. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't this the same mass? So this is 5 thou. This is 5 thou. Okay, so I can pull this off, and just add 1 of each. Alright, so I'm going to pop on 1 of these just here. Okay, pop 1 of those there. Pop 1 of these Onto the opposite side. That's risking blowing up. Okay. So I should have a good center of gravity. For the upper stage, I've got 5,000 delta V. For the upper stage of this probe, I'm going to save this and then load the Ike probe 1 and then see what my delta V is. So I was at 57.33. So I do have the extra delta V that I wanted. So this should, in theory, have enough delta V to get me there and back. As far as the main stages, I do need to go back to the Ike probe and see how much delta V I had kind of at ground level. 4,300, okay, 3,700 at sea level. 3,700 at sea level. And it's going to be quite similar to this, I think. Ike probe 2. Alright, time to start building the lower stages. I think this is good as is. I'm going to add a separator of a larger diameter. Okay, and a shroud, I guess. Could be a good thing. What is it? Utility? Where are they? An Aero? Payload, that's what it is. Okay. Pop that on. Come on, I'm clicking. Why is it? Okay. There we go. All right. I've got a big antenna. I've got probably not enough battery, but I am planning on bringing this back. I need solar. All right. Hopefully I can just build that on without trouble. Let's see here. Solar. 1x6. And I'll just go for 4 of these guys. Call that good. Alright, so I've got my solar. Do I have any battery? Is there any way to even know that without... So I'm going to go to launch and just see how much battery I have. Hopefully there's a better way. Battery 205, that's not that bad. I'm just going to revert to vehicle assembly. I don't know if I get all my money back if I recover the vessel. Alright, I want a little more battery in here. Where am I going? Power. Probably that little guy? No? Okay. Cool. So that'll give me, that'll almost double my battery, right? Yep. Okay. I'm hoping that's enough in case I want to transmit any of this. So yeah, I've got the probe itself. Time to start building out the lower stage. So I'm going to go into the fuel tanks and grab... And I probably have more mass up there than I did before, so I'm going to go with 3 of these. And then, which engine did I use last time? I think I can just kind of work backwards from where I was. I probably would have used this. 2600 in vacuum. I don't think I used any boosters or anything in the last one. I'm going to save this and open back up. Original Ike probe. Skipper, and then 1, 2, and then a much smaller upper stage. Ike 2, This is a skipper. Yep, and then the thrust to weight is probably terrible as well. Okay, so I need some more delta V, and you know what I'm about to do. Booster time. I don't feel like doing a big official job of this. I just want to get it done. 2 of these. And the big old booster. Actually, let's try for the medium-ish one. Go by mass. This isn't going to be enough. I need the big honkers. Is it crashing into here? No. Oh well. Let's see here. So now I'm going to take this, pop it into there. Alright, so I've got in vacuum 3,200 delta V versus 3,700 delta V. And I went from 27 to 50 something. So my total delta V is 37, 50, 64. So 6,400 delta V there-ish. Oh, there it is, 65. And then, so from 65, and I want +2, so I want like 85. Terrible. Alright, sea level. I mean, in a vacuum, I'm going to have 9,000. So I want to see how I was measuring the delta V in this other guy. In a vacuum, this is 7,000 delta V, and then the Ike probe 2. So it was measuring the delta V differently. Okay. Okay, I think this is what I'm going to go with. I probably need a little bit of Aero, so this thing isn't flipping all over the place. And with this amount of delta V, I ought to be getting into orbit with this stage alone. And then hopefully I can just drop this off into the ocean. Pop that there. Structure. Grab this. Pop those there. Okay. Gather science from Ike. Return to Kerbal from the orbit of Ike. Position a satellite Mun. New orbit Duna. Build a new orbital station around Duna. 7 Kerbals. Nope. Build a new surface outpost Minmus. Nope. Alright, so I'm literally just getting science from Ike and coming back. And then the goal of this is to get me enough science that I can actually do some research. So I've got this and this. That one might not be used. I've got that one, this one's resettable, right? Rerunnable, resettable. The big concern is the goo, because I'm not going to have a Kerbal there to rerun it. And then this one I'm not going to have a Kerbal there to rerun it. Does this one get me actual science? I don't know if this gives me science or not. Let's see, so these ones all have, I know these are science and they have the check marks. This one does not have a check mark. Check mark. That has check marks. So maybe this thing will actually get me science. Man, that's enormous. How am I even supposed to... This seems like an entire separate telescope. Okay, so I'm going to save this as is. And yeah, so now I got to find the next launch window and all that jazz, but I'm getting ready to do an Ike probe, get some data back, complete a mission, and prepare my Kerbal knots to actually do a manned mission to Duna. So we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.